Congratulations, 25 years of
I know.
Farscape.
God, yeah. Who would have thought?
I was gonna ask you is like what are your thoughts about the fandom, the following after all these years?
Yeah, no, you look, any television show, and I've created five in my life, and you never know, and you never know if it's going to just gel. The cast is going to gel, and the storytelling, and then you have the networks and the studios, and everybody kind of is it going to come together? So the very fact that Farscape just essentially caught lightning in a bottle, and just is what it is what it is or was, and then and so here, 25 years later, I'm talking to you again. To have a TV series that has that sort of reach to me is wildly exciting. And I mean, I talk to people do. I talk to them at conventions or wherever, just out and about, and they'll say, "I watched it when I was back in the day." And now I've reintroduced my kids. I've introduced my kids to it, or just people at conventions who say, I didn't know about the show, and now suddenly I've discovered it. And this is, I think I was just at a convention in New York this last December, and yeah, it's a remarkable to fill a convention room, with fans of the show, and many of whom were obviously know the show from its origins, but are founded in the intervening years, which is remarkable.
It is very remarkable. So how do you introduce this to like a new generation of younger fans that who weren't around 25 years ago? And I don't want to age ourselves in this case too.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I wrote it when I was 6 years old, so I was a prodigy of yeah. To me, um uh the operative phrase is buckle up, because Farscape is, if I may, is so bold and so unpredictable that's why I think it's actually it's sustained over these 25 years, is because it still is not like anything else. It is very much its own animal, and its boldness, its willingness to kind of go places that you wouldn't expect a show to go in terms of obviously storytelling, but character relationships, and the threat to the characters and how real that can be, and then obviously the humor, which can be just outrageously in your face, and never tips over into unbelievable, but just goes right up against the line of that. And that was one kind of the watchwords when we were making the show was, okay, what's the weirdest thing it could possibly be? What's the boldest move here? And then we just did it. And so I think that's why people even now discovering it's currently it's on airing on Shout TV right now. I think they're doing a marathon, I think on March 17th, to kind of celebrate the 25 years. And people are discovering it even now. I think they're finding that it isn't like anything else. And I'm very proud of the effects and things, which obviously, that's effects work and that sort of thing, visual effects and et cetera, have developed exponentially in the last year, let alone over 25 years. And the effects all hold up, I think, really, really well. And then a huge distinction for our show was that we had the Henson Company and the Henson Creature Shop and all the animatronic characters, and which allowed us to do aliens that were of varying sizes, and you knew it wasn't someone in a suit or someone with just prosthetics on their forehead, but were creatures that could be alien because they're this tall or gargantuan.
I know it is amazing to watch. I'm just out of curiosity. When was the last time you seen any of those creature features from the Henson Company? I know they probably put it in storage somewhere.
I have not visited them lately. No. I think, yeah, I don't know if the actual originals are still, around. I know we have all the designs, et cetera. So, yeah, we could recreate them at a moment's notice. But yeah, I have not visited. I may notice I've got a bust of Rigel back here. So that's, that I get to. My girlfriend's not too sure about having it here in our living room, but I said, hey, You know, right. I need Rigel right there. Needs to watch everything I do.
Now, of course, the series ended with the Peacekeeper Wars. Were you satisfied with that ending? Did you feel like there is still more story to tell?
Yes and yes. Very, very satisfied with the ending. It was obviously when we completed season 4, we left it on a cliffhanger, which we did on purpose. We knew the series that we weren't coming back with more episodes even before we completed that episode. But we purposely chose to do it on a cliffhanger because we wanted to kind of push fate to have to get to finish the story. So yeah, I feel that Peacekeeper Wars was the appropriate huge tale, right, with the huge stakes and all of that, with a terrific essential conclusion, at least at that point, which is the birth of John and Aaron's child, and and kind of looking to the future that way. But even then, we were hoping to and always expecting to, kind of revisit that world. Uncharted Territories is a huge place. The characters are still out there somewhere, doing stuff. I'd love to know what they're up to now. What's happened with little John, or little Dargo, Crichton, the son. What he's about now, because he's obviously would be in his early 20s. And villains never sleep. So, what's the new villain force, and what is it that John and Aaron are up against? So, yeah, would love to continue the world.
That what fans would actually love to hear that there's that speck in the universe that there's a chance that we could actually have a continuation or a revisit to Farscape. So
Yeah, it seems yeah, I agree. No, I appreciate that. And fans have been very patient. Brian Henson and I talk all the time about kind of what is the way to keep this kind of, the storytelling, in the Uncharted Territories, how do we keep that storytelling going? Yeah, it's just finding the right, as I said, it's for better, for worse. Farscape was, at its essence, incredibly bold and incredibly unpredictable. And bold is not an easy one to get people to embrace. It's much easier to do, um, you know, um, uh, new versions of old IP, old stories, old things that people are familiar with. And yeah, it's asking a lot of an executive anywhere to embrace something that doesn't just kind of give the casual nod to being bold and challenging, but is literally bold and challenging. So that's kind of what we're up against. And I wouldn't want to do this show if it was anything less than less than are making every attempt to kind of capture that same boldness and unpredictability that we had in the original series.
well said. Well, for now, everyone will get to watch it on Shout TV, 25 years, all the seasons. It's very exciting, Rockne. Thank you very much for speaking to us again for our 25th anniversary of
My pleasure.
and hopefully
Thanks so much. No, I really appreciate it.